Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here, and welcome to my recap of my first year as a full-time dance student at Patrick School of the Arts. Now, my original plan for the year, and if you have seen any of my past PSA diary videos, I planned to film throughout the year, and I would always start videos and just like never finish filming them, or there was a couple where I could have had a full video and I just never got to editing them. And so I decided a little bit through the year that I would just kind of take the pressure of filming videos off of myself, and I was like, it's fine, I'll just come back at the end of the year and explain my year. So this unfortunately will be a bit of a boring sit down video. I don't have any other fun clips to show. I might put a couple images in here and there just from pictures I took throughout the year, but I don't have any fun clips. I didn't record anything really while I was there. I was just getting the lay of the land, how everything worked, finding who I was within that space. It took me a good while to figure out everything that was there, which I feel like is pretty normal, but I decided to just take a chill pill on the videos. So I've been MIA pretty much the entire year, which wasn't my original plan, obviously, and I did miss filming and editing and uploading. Like, I genuinely do like it, which is why I have done it, and I will continue to do it and hopefully pick it up a bit more a little bit next year, and then back up once I finish full time, just because I really do enjoy it. And I know that not a lot of people watch these videos, so I'm really making them for my own enjoyment, and especially my PSA diary videos I'm making so that way I can look back when I'm older and just see what my thoughts, feelings were during this time, because it is such like a special time. 2 years before you start seems like so long, but I've already done my first year and I'm like, how do I only have 1 year left? And it's just insane. So I really took the time this year just to be in the moment, figure out what I was doing, and yeah, I think it really helped and was beneficial. But I'm just gonna give a little recap on my year at full time and what I experienced, what my expectations were they met, were they not met, were they exceeded, and also have a small deep dive into like recovery and how my body took the year. So that's just kind of what this video will be. Again, so sorry if you're not into sit down videos, but I just know myself, if I found someone who even had a sit down video just explaining what to expect within the first year, it really would have calmed my nerves and kind of helped me like figure out exactly what to expect. I just kind of built up stuff in my head, and then some of the stuff I built up was way worse in my head than what it actually was. So I don't know, if you're going into full-time, whether it's at Patrick's, whether it's at Brent Street, Dynamite, Jason Coleman, whatever full-time, I'm pretty sure the experiences would be similar. Obviously, each place runs differently and not everyone is run exactly the same. So this is just my personal experience at Patrick School of the Arts. So let's get into it. So starting off the year obviously was really nerve-wracking. I just moved down with my mum. I have videos of me like packing, moving, driving down, and so there are videos there if you want to watch them. But it was super exciting. I was so excited. I was looking forward to the road trip just because I had never done a road trip that long. I got to go to Canberra, which honestly there's not much in Canberra, but I can say I've been to Canberra now, so I was excited for that. And then we made it, got to my cousin's house. I stayed with my cousin for roughly 3.5 months. I moved out in mid-April into the place I am in now, and I have 2 amazing housemates. I actually lucked out with housemates. They're so good. We moved in, new state, living away from my parents, more than a 30-minute drive, pretty much knowing no one here except for my cousin. So it was exciting but also nerve-wracking. And then the first thing we did with like the school was the orientation day that was at Swinburne, which is a university here in Melbourne, and It was just an orientation day because we did our theory work through them. So we had to have like a mandatory orientation of like the campus, even though I don't think anyone ever went to that campus. But it was a good opportunity to like meet people, meet the other first years going into this course without just like being thrown in. It was just like a good chance to just like talk and get to know each other, and we were all in the same boat. We were all excited and nervous. It definitely intimidated me because I just saw people and I was like, you look like you're an amazing dancer. And I got very intimidated, but I also get very intimidated really easily, so no surprise there. But it was really good. Two of the girls I talked to on orientation day have been some of my like great friends throughout the whole year, so that was really good. And I know a lot of people like made their close friends on that orientation day. But yeah, so it like kind of helped to calm the nerves a little bit with getting to meet some people, and it was just like also the anticipation of just like starting. It was like, I just want to start, I want to get to it, and it was just kind of that first like but it wasn't enough. And then we had orientation day at Patrick School of the Arts, like the actual school. And so that was really exciting, but again, really nerve-wracking, really intimidating, especially seeing people who were going into second year or even third year that I'd seen on Instagram. And it was like kind of like seeing a celebrity, being like, I've only seen this person on Instagram and I know how insanely talented they are. So it was definitely a bit intimidating, but it was super exciting. And again, got to like see people again that we saw at orientation, so it wasn't as scary as like meeting everyone for the first time there. I really enjoyed that. Then we got to meet all the faculty and staff there, which was really exciting, and figure out like who would be going to throughout most of the year, and seeing Todd Patrick for the first time, because I literally before that first orientation never seen him in my life. And there was a few alumni who came in and they came to talk to us, so that was a bit comforting. I don't know, I kind of needed to hear someone's experience, which is what I hadn't had getting there, and which is why I myself am doing this video. I just needed to hear someone's experience, and once I heard someone's experience there, I felt like so much better. And then we had our streaming class. It was a Todd Patrick jazz technique class, just to see where everyone was technique wise, where you had a few people walking around and they would like sort you into if you're in stream A, B or C. I knew going into it I'd be put in stream C. I did not grow up doing ballet. I did not grow up going to studios that did technique classes, or if I did, like we would just do it. We weren't actually taught the proper technique. So I knew my technique was not great. I knew my flexibility wasn't great. And so I knew I'd be in stream C. I didn't have expectations of being in stream A. Like I knew I was going in stream C. But doing that streaming class, I absolutely died. I absolutely died. Warm up and then the strengthening and conditioning we did killed me. We did tech. It was a lot and I was excited, but I definitely was not prepared. I thought I kind of prepared for it, was not prepared at all. Prepare. Make sure you're doing cardio during the holidays, you're strengthening, you're going to the gym, which for someone like me who never really did it, it was a little bit like, oh, do I have to? Definitely do it. Even if that's what you do regularly, just like keep it up. But if you don't normally go to the gym, work out, keep up your fitness or stretch over like the holidays, do it if you're going to full time. Because that first class absolutely killed me. I could not move the next day. Genuinely could not move. So I was grateful we had that next day off, because I don't know what I would have done. Another thing I was really nervous about was like the people, because growing up in dance, there is a lot of bitchiness, there's a lot of judgment. It's just kind of the environment that happens. And so I was a little bit worried about going into this and how people would behave, but everyone genuinely are so sweet and kind and are just so supportive of each other, and that really helped me with just like, even on that first day when no one knew me, I wasn't great and I was showing that I wasn't great, people were just so kind and supportive, and that really made me feel comfortable. I was like, okay, I can do this. One thing about PSA is there's such a big thing about be the best person to work with. Like you can have the talent, you can be amazing, but if you're not great to work with, people won't want to work with you. So they're like, be kind, be respectable, be reliable, and just be the best person in the room to work with. Especially the people who went to academy, they were the sweetest people, and they are the people I expected to have that kind of like entitlement of like, I have gone to the academy, I've deserved to be here, blah blah blah. That's who I expected that kind of judgment and entitlement from. But no, they are absolutely the sweetest people. Getting into term one, it was such a big adjustment. Going from dancing one night a week to dancing like 40 hours a week is such a big adjustment. It was definitely challenging, especially with the classes we would take. So you had like your ballet, you had your jazz tech, you had your tap where you're like learning stuff, but a lot of the classes were like combo classes where choreographer would come in, teach you a combo in that style, and then you do it in groups, which is definitely good. It was just a lot to learn with. Like, I've done combos before, that's what I did all of last year, but they weren't as difficult as these ones were, just because I'm not used to the difficulty level that is here. Like where I went, it just wasn't challenging. Like I could do it, but I wasn't being challenged, so I just kind of stuck at that comfortable pace. And so here it was challenging and it was difficult, but it's what I needed. But it took me a while to adjust, and it was a mentality of figuring out how to do these classes and see improvement without getting myself down about either not getting the combo, not keeping up, not getting movements. So I had to give myself grace when I wasn't getting it, and pretty much most people in the class were getting it, and it was like such a struggle, and it caused so much self-doubt. I was like, how did I get in? Why am I here? Why did they accept me? I clearly am not up to the level that these people are. I don't understand. And it was just really disheartening as someone who is also older than a lot of people. Like, I am 23 and a lot of the people are ranging from 18 to 20, so I am a little bit older than everyone else, so that was also a thing I had to overcome. But honestly, like, it doesn't really make a difference. There's people in musical theatre stream that are older. It just, everyone's on their own journey. So that was also a mentality thing I had to like get over, was like, I'm older, I'm behind on my learning and all that. Just like this mentality that I had going into this, it kind of like delayed me being able to see and like actually improve for a little bit. But once I kind of like let go of that mentality, my growth just shot up. And while I'm still not exactly where I want to be, I have my holidays to improve on my strength and my stamina. The first shows we did was the mid-year, which was called Atlantis, and it was like sailor themed. It was quite a short show. It was only about 50 minutes, and within that I only had 4 dances, and I wasn't in a lot of these dances because, like I've said, I didn't have the technique, I didn't have the flexibility, I wasn't keeping up with choreography. And knowing that, I had the expectation of not being a lot of the dances, being in the back row. So when I wasn't in a lot of dances and I was put in the back row, I wasn't disheartened by it. Like, I had that expectation, and I think it provided a safety net of being like, I'm at the back, like if I struggle, it's fine, I'm at the back, you can't see me. But the theater we were in, it was small, and it was like this, the audience was right, so you could see at the back, you could clearly see everyone, which was great, because then when you sat up there and you could see what was happening, it was like, oh, you can see everyone is being seen. You obviously have people at the front who have that visibility more, but they absolutely deserve it. The people who are at the front deserve the front, absolutely. I think it was a good first show, especially coming from my experience and background in dance. I think it was a good first show. And then we had vocal showcase, which was interesting. It was definitely different. It was like my first time having like a showcase where I was singing, and before this year I'd never sung in front of anyone, so that was really intimidating. In a little bit I'll get onto the singing portion of this, because that's a whole nother thing. But we had our vocal showcase and it felt a little unplanned, but overall it was alright. It was Disney themed, so who doesn't love Disney? And then we went on to end of year, and we had a lot more for end of year. End of year was a big show. It was themed the plague, so it was like dark. You had like a mix between like dark, and then you had like 1800s London, and that was kind of like the range that it had. And I love that show. I loved the darker theme to it. I don't know, I really enjoyed it. We had a lot more. I think overall we had 8 dances, so double the amount of dances, and I was in more of the dances. And being picked 4 sections and like having positions that aren't entirely at the back row really showed to me my improvement that I've shown to the choreographers and the teachers. So that also helped me. I was like, oh, I'm actually being chosen and picked for things, which I again went into end of year not having the expectation. I was like, I would like to have some better positions, and that was kind of all my expectation going into end of year was. Like, obviously I would absolutely love to be picked for things, but I had to keep my expectations like more realistic. I was like, I just want a couple better positions. But also, I am a tall girl. I am 179 centimeters. I am a tall girl, so I know visibility wise a lot of the time when choreographers, especially when they don't know us, they're gonna go by height. They don't go by talent or stuff, and like obviously people that stand out to them they will pick out, but majority of the time they went by height, which was also, I think, fair. I don't know, some people might not think it's fair, but I thought it was very fair. So I also knew, I was like, I'm a tall person, I'm gonna be put at the back a lot. Some routines I had some great spots, great positions. Other routines I wasn't in much, like Todd Patrick contemporary. I'm not a great contemporary dancer. I don't have the flexibility or the legs or the turns. And so doing that, I knew I wouldn't be in a lot, and I was like mainly in the group pieces, and I was like at the back because of my height, and I was totally fine with that. I was like, because I had these other like great positions and other routines. So it was just overall a really a really good show, and I enjoyed it a lot. I could just see the improvement I made throughout the year, and that was like the best part, especially with like my mum. She saw both mid-year and end of year. She flew down for both, and after end of year she was just like, you've improved so much, and so she was really proud of me, so that was also great. But yeah, one thing I did have to deal with throughout this year was a injury. Technically it is an injury, but it wasn't like I injured myself. So this happened on pretty early in the year, and I've dealt with it the rest of the year. Like most of my year I've had knee issues. Like I still did the whole year, I still improved, I still got better positions, I still did the dance. So my resilience within this injury I'm really proud of, and I'm planning on making like a whole nother video about my injury and my recovery from it. The physio I had was absolutely amazing, love her so much. I will forever be grateful for my physio, and I will still see her for as long as I can until hopefully I get a contract. Another whole part of my thing was I did the performing arts course, which was dance focused, but we do singing and acting as well. Singing was absolutely terrifying for me. I had never sung in front of anyone other than like primary school choir before my audition. My audition was the first time I'd ever just like solo sung in front of people, and it was absolutely terrifying. They obviously saw something in it because I got accepted into the performing arts course, but it was absolutely terrifying. And then other than the orientation day, we had one day of like a 4-hour choreography block where we straight on started learning choreography for mid-year. First thing we did when we got like on the first official week was audition prep, where the performing arts course for first years are split in half. So you have 2 groups and you solo sing in front of your group. Absolutely terrifying. I was shitting myself because I was like, I don't sing. But nope, you had to get up, you had to give the pianist your sheet music, and you had to go through it, and you had to sing in front of your teacher and the whole class. And I would be like heart racing, shaking, but I would do it. It wasn't great, but I would do it. That and acting, because acting is similar. Like you have your whole performing arts course and we did improv stuff, we got to know people. And I think one thing is the performing arts course were so supportive and respectful of each other because of the vulnerability we had to be, how vulnerable we had to be in front of each other. There's just something about the performing arts course with a lot of people who are dance first, who aren't great singers, who don't act but wanted to learn. Being vulnerable in that way in front of people who you pretty much don't know is absolutely terrifying. It is terrifying, but you go up and you do it because that's the career you've chosen. We just had this connection and respect for each other that I just don't think the dancers would have. Like obviously the dancers were respectful and supportive of each other, but it's just on that different level because of how vulnerable we had to be in front of each other. Like some of us like me, had to sing in front of people when we've never sung before, and that's absolutely terrifying. You have to act in front of people, which is also absolutely terrifying if you've never done it before or like have very little experience doing it. But I think singing and acting and my progress in that is what I'm most proud of myself for, because it literally terrified me. I didn't want to do it. My heart would be racing, I'd be shaking, I'd be like almost panicking. And at the end of the year, I was excited. I was excited to get up and sing my song. I was excited to get up and do my scenes. And it was just the best like switch from when it like something just clicked in my brain, especially with singing. Singing was really hard, and because I'd been told by people, they're like, you can't hold a tune, you're not a singer, blah blah blah. So that's just kind of the mentality I had. But I am really proud of my growth with my singing and my resilience with it. And once something clicked for me, I got excited about it. I was like, I'm excited to sing, I'm excited to act, I'm excited to show people my improvement on a certain song we were doing or on this scene. And that is like one of the best feelings I've had throughout the year, and my improvement with that. And I'm so excited for next year and to see what the improvement with that is. If you just happen to be watching and you've never sung before, or you've never really acted before, especially in front of other people, I'm not gonna lie, it was terrifying at first and you don't want to do it and you question everything. But as the year goes on, I loved it, and it really just confirmed. I was like, no, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do with my life. This is the career I want, and I will do anything that I need to get there. I don't know what else there is. Like, that's kind of sums up the year. I don't know if this was the best explanation of full-time, but this was my experience. It definitely is a lot. 8 till 4, 5 days a week, and waking up early to get there and have breakfast properly and eat properly, and then get home and do whatever you need to do your theory work and eat and shower and then go to bed at a time that's good for you to wake up so early in the morning. It's a lot. And then working on top of that to be able to afford to live and eat and pay rent. It's a lot, but it's worth it. And there are some people who aren't coming back next year, unfortunately, and I will miss them so much because they're amazing, but it's not for them. And that's totally fine. If you do a year and you're like, actually no, we had a few people leave after mid-year because they were just like, this isn't for me, and that's totally okay. There are definitely times and days and weeks that I'm just like, I don't want to be here. I want to go home. I want to go back to bed. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I miss home. There's times where I'm like that, and then there are other times I'm like, I'm exactly where I want to be. I am exactly where I want to be, and this is exactly what I want to be doing with my life. I absolutely loved it, and I cannot wait for next year. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to not have any issues hopefully next year. This is all I can think of right now to say about my first year of full-time. Again, like I've said in every other PSA diary video ever, this is for me. I'm making these for me. I'm making them so I can look back on my experience in a few years and just see how proud I was of myself for my achievements for first year. If there is anyone watching who is starting full-time and is scared, please feel free to comment and I will respond. And if you have any other questions or want me to talk about any other specific parts of full-time, please comment below and I will try my best to make a video. I don't know what I'll do next year. I would love to film more and release more videos next year, but I'll just see what the year brings, because I know also next year is going to be just as full on and more intense because we start auditioning next year, and I'm super excited about that. Sorry about the length of this video, and if you made it all the way through this video, you're a real one. Comment a dinosaur emoji if you've made it the whole way through this video. This is what I feel like I needed to do, and so I'm doing it. And if this helps anyone who is doing full-time and just needed some reassurance, I hope I was able to help at least a little bit in calming your nerves. I will see you all in my next video. Bye.